Mike Greco, aye. You're here.
Mark Mungum.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay, and we'd like to take a moment just to thank Mary Wright for doing all of our minutes. She is retiring,
Screen on the
so we will
iMac.
have a new minute taker, and we appreciate all of her minutes with accuracy. Mike, I'm sure you can appreciate that since you are kind of the keeper. So we really appreciate you, and good luck in the future.
Amen.
We'll start with the first item on the agenda is public hearing continued U Street lot number 1, Orpson Court. There's an updated plan in your file with the plantings. The board, did you take a look at those?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we had plantings.
So it's pretty much where we had suggested to place them. Steve, did you want to say anything before Jude goes? Or
No, I think they made all the changes that the commission requested and put the plantings on there as we discussed the last meeting. I don't really see anything else that needs to be done.
okay, applicant, you want to add anything?
No, that's about it. Added the plantings and yeah.
Roll. Okay, and this street address is 276 U.
Yep.
Officially for the file.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Board, do we have any other questions or conditions that we want to add to this?
Not me.
Art, not you?
Nope, I'm all set.
Okay, Mike,
All set.
Mark,
Nothing here.
okay, and Eric?
All set.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to this application? Steve, do you see anyone?
I would just suggest, I'm gonna try and mute, if everyone can mute their screen
In
and
regards to
so we
this?
don't get any background noise, that'd be great. Thank you. Much better. No, we're good, Tracy.
Okay, all right, board, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, motion been made and seconded. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, and I'll entertain a motion with our conditions as far as the plantings as shown on the plan to issue the order of conditions.
So moved.
Mike's made the motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, I appreciate
Good
it.
luck. Have a good night. Okay.
All
right. So we're gonna skip over the next item since I'll have to recuse myself and we won't have quorum. Unless we can baptize Eric into becoming a full member tonight. So next item on the agenda, Evan, we'll just have to postpone you a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I just have a question whether I need to stick around. I see 4 voting members, and I believe I need 5.
4.
Eric is an associate member. Steve, could you just double check that when we do the next hearing to see if he's able to vote?
Yeah, I'll double check. I'm 90% sure no, but Katie Grace might show up. So if she does, I think it's just a procedural. We're just looking for a procedural vote, Evan, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, to allow him to vote?
Yeah, so I would continue until the last thing on the agenda in case Katie Grace shows up.
Oh,
Okay.
a procedural vote for Wallen Lake Road, not for Eric to vote.
Oh,
Right. Right.
oh, okay, okay. All right, well, let's go to the next hearing. We'll skip over that one. 7 PM, public hearing continued, 34 and 36 Davis Street, James Fitzpatrick. Updated plan with plantings added. Steve, do you want to just give an overview?
Yeah, let me see if I can bring up is the engineer here?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, why I'm bringing it up, if you just don't mind just kind of adding what you,
Sure. So for the record, John Federico with Guerriere and Hellman. Mr. James Fitzpatrick, the applicant, is here tonight as well, should there be any additional questions that might need to be addressed with him. As far as the changes that we have made since the last plan, we have taken into a lot of the consideration some of the suggestions that the commission had. We're currently rotating the building to get it further away from the larger wetland area towards the northeastern portion of the site. We were also able to reduce down significantly the amount of pavement that we're originally proposing. As a part of this, we're no longer going to be proposing our connection to the existing septic system with the ejector pump, but we still will have a water service tap for future connections. They do extend the sewer service through Davis Street, and then we are still showing an electrical connection for just normal power to the garage. In terms of everything that we're showing here, we did add in the staggered plantings along the no disturb buffer. Was one of the notes that the that the commission had asked for originally, as well as we're now showing the stormwater management. We're going to be proposing 2 dry wells along the northeastern end of the building closest to where that wetland is. Those dry wells will be allowed due to the cold water fisheries, and it's not going to be any sort of adverse impacts there. And then in terms of any sort of runoff from the pavement, because we are allowing a much larger area of grass to separate between the wetlands than what we had originally proposed, and just due to the nature of it being very gravelly out in that area, that infiltration and any sort of treatment could be handled before that. In the event that we did need to provide additional stormwater management there, we were just proposing to do an infiltration trench, and we can work out the size for that if ever needed for it. But we do feel that this is a significant improvement compared to the plan that was originally shown to the commission, and we'd like to get any sort of approvals tonight for that if you don't find anything else that's necessary there. We do have one question regarding the plantings. We personally weren't sure of anything that the commission might deem as not acceptable, as we are looking to avoid any sort of plantings that would attract any of the local deer population there. So any suggestions you have, we could definitely have it updated on the plan if needed, or if we could just have that added in as a condition, that would be fantastic.
Okay, thank you. Steve, anything else to add?
No, so you rotated the building, and so you're going straight into the garage instead of going around to the side, so that's why you're able to cut back on the impervious pavement?
That is correct. And we also eliminated one of the bay doors as well by doing so. We did consider utilizing the existing driveway for it, but any turn movements that we were going to do, it wasn't going to really be too beneficial, as it was going to eat up a lot of the existing backyard. So unfortunately, we will be proposing the second driveway entrance there, but we did try to cut back as much as we can for the driveway size and pavement. Initially, we did have a 15-foot width running through the whole thing that expanded up to 30 feet. Currently, it's got reduced down to 12 for the width, and then the depth of that 30-foot area has just been sized in order to fit the vehicles. Nothing extra has been provided there for any sort of pavement or impervious area.
Yeah, so yeah, Tracy, to answer your question, I mean, I think it's a great improvement over the original plan, and it's almost in the same area where there was an existing dwelling there at one time.
Yeah,
so it's not,
yeah.
So it's
Existing disturbed.
disturbed area, right?
Okay, board, do we have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, there was a possibility of tree removal when we met last time. What's the status of that?
Yep, so the trees the 3 trees were removed
That was through an RDA.
through the RDA, right? There was a separate filing. So they went ahead and they finished the crossing. They did a nice job. They actually went underneath the stream, horizontal drilling, and to do the water line that's adjacent to this project. So they didn't disturb the stream at all. And they actually installed the water line from the subdivision out to Davis Street and hydroseeded both sides. So the whole area is hydroseeded also for stabilization.
And wasn't there an issue about abutting on the cold water fishery?
To address the cold water fishery issue, we did pull back any sort of disturbances that we had. Originally, we were proposing to alter the tree line in that northeastern portion behind where we have those current plantings shown. So we did provide a little bit more separation there. And then we also did add in for the stormwater management, the dry wells for the roof leaders, one on each corner of the northeastern portion of the building.
Okay, thank you.
Mark, any questions?
I can't tell what the buffer lines are on this plan. So if someone could
Sure.
point out to me.
We do have the notes along the abutting property line if you wanted to pan up that way, Steve, or anybody that's looking at it. But currently, we do have the wetland lines. You'll see some of the flags called out there. Then the line labeled as ND is the 25-foot no disturb. The one highlighted kind of in the center of the page right now, or center of the screen, where we do have our plantings, is the 50-foot no build area. And then the small triangular portion that you see on the building is where the 100-foot buffer is. The reasoning it's shown as such is just due to the offsets from the smaller pocket wetland up towards Davis Street and the larger wetland towards the northeast portion of the site.
Sorry, let me just interrupt. Steve, close your fill-in sign and you can highlight. So go to the right. Close.
Naval editing.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. I don't know what you'd be signing.
So that line there is the 50-foot no build buffer. The line being highlighted right now is the other 50-foot no build buffer. And then the highlighted line in the center that Steve is currently highlighting is the 100-foot buffer to both wetlands.
So the closest point from the structure to the flagged BVW is called out also as 73.9 feet.
Yes, that is correct. Or actually, the closest point will be approximately 57 feet to the wetlands up front. But for the larger cold water fishery wetland, yes, that 73.9 feet is correct.
Okay, thank you for correcting me. That isolated wetland is under our local bylaw only jurisdictionally, not in the Wetlands Protection Act. Mark.
Okay, thank you. Isn't that 73.9 to a property line, not to a wetlands line?
Is it? Oh, my apologies there. I did have that go to a property line. I do have a scale with me. If you would bear with me one moment, I can give you that dimension there.
Yeah, so we would go with no closer than the other one. The one in the front was called out at the 57 plus minus feet. So the other one's probably going to be maybe 68.
It's
69.
about 68 to 70 range, just based on my scale. It is a very small one. Sorry about that. But the closest point would be that 57. And we're well outside the 50-foot no build from that wetland, if that at least helps with any sort of estimating of how close it is there.
I mean, I don't think it matters, but the wetland line looks very irregular, but the 50-foot buffer line looks pretty straight.
As far as the 50-foot buffer line, when we do the offsets, it's based off of circular radiuses. So a lot of those jagged points you see do get rounded out and would reflect a little bit more accurately what that 50-foot buffer is versus just dragging them out at a straight jagged sort of shape in that case.
Have
And
you
you're
done
not,
any I'm sorry, have you done any infiltration tests to see that the dry wells that you're proposing
None have been done specifically on this site here. We do have a lot of information from the adjacent site just to the northeast that is showing a very, very gravelly area. We were down upwards of 20 feet in some of our test pits, and we're still finding gravel out there, if not very clean sands. We're not anticipating any sort of adverse sort of situations here. But if that is something that we would need to do any sort of exploratory digs, if that's what would get approval, we can explore that possibly at the time of construction, unless it's absolutely necessary to do it beforehand. But anything that we're seeing from soil mapping standpoints, we're not running into any issues with the infiltration.
Is there a detail for those infiltration pits?
We don't have one currently shown on the plan. We would just be proposing your standard honeycomb style dry well in that case.
Okay, thank you.
we could condition if there's anything else found other than sands and gravels, we could have them submit something to ensure that they'll work. If you'd like to condition it like that, that wouldn't probably be an issue, wouldn't be a big deal, Mark.
Yes, I would like to see that.
Okay. Mike, anything? Questions, concerns?
No.
Eric?
I'm good.
Okay. Art, I think you were good.
Yes.
Okay.
This ended up being actually 36 Davis Street, right?
Yes, we did make the correction on the plan for that. My apologies for including the 34 portion initially. And then one of the things I failed to mention previously, on the right-hand side of the screen here, we did also add in a land use table just showing what our previous breakdown was and what we're currently proposing.
No, I'm good, Tracy.
Okay. Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to this hearing for 3436 Davis Street? Steve, do you see anybody?
I don't.
Okay.
I'll move that we close the public hearing.
Motion been made.
Second.
Motion been seconded by Mike. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, no, I had another question.
Oh,
Oops.
okay. So I guess we would hold the motion for one question for Mark or two. Go for it.
Did you say that there were roof drains and what they
Yeah.
tied into?
We do have the roof drains, and those would be tied directly into those dry wells that we're proposing.
Right. Thanks. Yeah, that was my only question.
Okay. There's roof leaders, a little teeny tiny note on the plan. Oh, and the other thing we also need to talk about is plantings,
Oh, yeah, what kind?
the type of planting. Steve, do you want to just condition where they would submit a planting plan to you or
Yeah.
let you know?
Yeah, they could come up with some, don't do arborvitaes if you want to.
Yeah, I would prefer not to instruct the applicant on what they should plant. I think that that's the screening, we want it to be still alive and not eaten by anything, so.
Just because I'm not familiar with any sort of specific plantings that might not attract any of the local deer population, is there any recommendations that we might be able to consider from the commission, just based off your experiences?
Yeah, we have a planting list. Steve can email that over to you, right, Steve?
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so motion was made and seconded for closing the public hearing. Mark, are you okay with everything? No?
I think so.
So let's have a roll call vote again to close the public hearing, please.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Crazy Sharky, aye. And then as far as in addition to our conditions, our typical conditions, if anything other than sands and gravel is found, calculations would be provided to ensure that those dry wells will work, and the applicant shall submit a planting schedule for our agent's approval before installing the screen plantings. Right? Did I miss anything?
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
Tracy, I would suggest at our last meeting, we talked about there not being fuel storage.
Okay, yep, all right.
And I just wanted to
We'll
make sure
add,
that
no
would be a
storage
condition.
of fuel. And you're specifically talking about diesel refueling, things like that, large quantities.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Steve, did you get that?
Yep. So how was no large fuel what?
Not large quantities of fuel storage on site. I mean, if he has a propane tank for heating or an oil tank for heating, that's not what we're talking about, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm
So
more talking about an underground type of tank that you would have to have a truck come and fill up, and then you fuel up equipment out of it.
okay. All right. No fueling of any equipment with on-site fuel.
You know, I'd like to
Storage.
say no bigger than so many gallons, but I don't know really what size gallons I would tell you.
Yeah, I think quantities that would be used to fill up equipment or something like that. Planting schedule and no refueling on site, maybe fueling of equipment. Using.
I think you could say
on-site-
that because it's all within 100 feet.
Yeah, using on-site, like filling station, I guess. Something like that, Steve?
Yeah, I'll have to. Well,
It-
Mark's from is underground USTs or ASTs, underground storage tanks or above ground storage tanks, which have
Yeah,
some of them
Fuel.
over, right there. That's
I
pretty
think
much-
we have that in one of the conditions too. On-site storage.
Right, I'll take a look at it. I know what you mean.
Okay, so there will be 3. So the dry wells material that's existing on site and submitting a planting schedule and no storage of refueling fuel, I guess, for equipment.
Other than gas cans, correct?
What?
Gas cans are allowed, correct?
Yeah, name and address.
James Fitzpatrick, 36 Davis Street.
Okay, yeah, I think that the small gas cans for like a lawnmower or something is not what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Okay.
It'll be in the condition as like for large quantity storage of refueling.
Yeah, I don't have any equipment that would
Liquids.
require that, so.
Right, it's just a big building. We don't know what's
Oh, I
gonna
understand.
happen there.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Okay. All right, board, is that it? I'll entertain a motion to issue the order with those conditions.
So moved.
Okay, motion been made by Art,
Second,
second by Mark. Roll call vote, please.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
Eric Harris, aye.
And Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, and make a note for the record, this is 36 Davis Street. As stated on the plan. Okay, Steve?
Okay, yeah, oh, 30, yes, 36.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all for your time tonight.
Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda is, Steve, do you think that Eric can vote?
Oh, am I supposed to look that up? I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Let me look at my, I got the MACC handbook right here.
It's our local bylaw.
No,
I'm
it's
pretty
a
sure.
MAC. No, it's a state thing.
Okay, all right, I'll just keep on moving along.
Did we call Katie Grace?
I didn't call her. I don't know if I have her phone number. I think I do, yeah. Let me just see. No. Okay, let's move along to the next item, and I'll see if she responds. Next item on the agenda would be public hearing continued 27 Webster Street, Hayward Homes LLC. Possible votes. We have a link to the plan. Margaret, do you want to go over the changes that you've made to the plan from the last time we were here?
Sure. Good evening. Based on the last meeting, the board
And
had,
name and address, please, Margaret.
I'm sorry, for the record, Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering. And I'm representing Hayward Homes regarding a single-family lot, proposed house at 23 Webster Street, Douglas. Okay,
What was the address again?
23 Webster Street.
23.
Okay.
Did we re-advertise this?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Hold on a second. One second. And you re-notified the abutters?
Yes, I did.
All right, wonderful.
Updated, certified abutters list also.
Okay.
Is this, excuse me, but is this 27 or 23?
3.
So the agenda has incorrectly listed the address.
Yes.
Yeah, it was incorrect last time.
So Steve, can we get confirmation that this is okay? I've got I have the public hearing notice as well as the abutters were notified.
Well, I think it came in as 27. That's
Yeah,
why-
but then we talked about it, was it really 25? And now
So
it's
now
20,
it's 23,
now it's 23.
but now it's incorrectly listed on the agenda.
Right.
Well, right, because that's how it was, right? Because we typically go with what's on the notice of intent form.
So did we meet our responsibility about informing the public for this meeting if we didn't have the correct address on the agenda?
It would have been a butter. I mean,
But if someone that's in the general public maybe didn't have a problem with 27, I don't know if they'd have a problem with 23.
23, 25, and 27 were all
They're all connected, yeah.
connected.
That was a subdivision project, wasn't it?
Correct. It initially was 2 lots, and then it got subdivided into 3 lots, and hence the confusion.
Well,
So did you notify Maria or Steve that you advertised as 23 Webster Street?
Yes, I have a copy of the ad that was in the paper. It went in as 23 Webster Street.
Did you forward that ad to Maria or Steve
Uh,
to make sure that they put it on the agenda for 23? So the issue is we've got the 27 and then we've re-advertised correctly and re-notified the abutters for 23. So can we, and then 23 is not on the agenda. Steve.
Yeah, I mean, the parcel that she's notifying all the abutters based on the map and parcels and the assessor's certified list that gives the radius for those parcels. And so I think it's a technicality that it went from, because they're just created. But is the abutters
Okay.
list from the original, Margaret? Is it from the original?
Butters list from the
New abutters list.
Right.
yeah, I think we're probably fine with the abutters. It's whether or not the public, if we met the responsibility of notifying the public about 23 Webster Street when the notice that was on the website said 27.
Right. So, something like this, where you can certainly go through the review and the process and then wait to close it at the next meeting, which would be a formality if there's no other changes.
So that's what I would suggest, and I would really suggest that we get the number correct on the next agenda.
Right.
And I would have the decision, actively prepared for that date. Just to be sure, because the numbers are all different. So I'll read the notice, right? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Steve?
Yep. You
All
have
right.
it?
Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas. Legal notice for public meeting. So it's a public hearing also, not a public meeting. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Hayward Homes on September 14th, 2020 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work location will be done on 23 Webster Street, Lot 1R, and involves proposed construction of a single-family house, septic system, and appurtenances. Proposed construction activities are within 100-foot buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetlands. Meeting to be held remotely via Zoom meeting September 4th, 2020. So we also need to make sure that the applicants are using the correct notice. It looks like a carryover, so Steve, if you could make sure that people are.
Yeah. She got like a day late, so and we posted.
It's an RD. It looks like it's an RDA notice at first, and then it's changed, and so We need to
What-
do a better job with that, okay?
The NOI? Yeah, I'm not sure where she got that from.
Well, we need to take off the old ones off the website, and we need to make sure that it says that according to Governor Beaker's orders, we're allowed to have open meeting law, meet the open meeting law requirements during this time with that notice. Because a couple of people went to the town hall, so. All right, so let's go over the plan changes and see if the board has any questions. So Margaret, go, you've got the floor.
And as far as that notice goes, I made the mistake of sending the Worcester Telegram 2 different notices. One was for the RDA and one was for a notice of intent. Just, they got them all confused numerous times. It took me quite a while.
Okay.
Sorry, it was very frustrating. And that's kind of where that happened. But back to the changes on the plans, based on the last meeting and some of the comments and suggestions from the board had concerns regarding the house. I was able to move the house up about closer to Route 16, about 30. By doing so, I was able to keep all of the work pretty much outside the 50-foot buffer zone. I was also able to eliminate that retaining wall that was on the right side of that house. Those were pretty much the biggies, moving that house and regrading. The septic system's pretty much set. That's already been approved by the Board of Health, and that's where the perks were. But as mentioned, I was able to move the house quite a bit further up forward, but I can't really move it any further because the property line starts to take a jog there, and it would only start pushing me over towards the wetland. Right up there by the corner, right by the driveway. The garage right up in the left-hand corner there, Steve. Right down at the front left-hand corner, right there, left hand. Right there, that's where the zoning offset is. So if I move it up any closer, I start to encroach on zoning. See that line right there? Yeah, that's the zoning offset. So then it would just start pushing the house towards the wetland. So that's as far up as I can come with the house. And as I said, there was a retaining wall on the right-hand side of that house that I was able to eliminate. And then I've also put in a split rail fence with landscape shrubs along the edge there by the house. And then up in the back by the septic, there's a 2 to 3 foot wall there to hold the grading in with the septic. And I didn't put anything else up there because I don't imagine they'd be doing anything else beyond that wall. You see the red line on the right-hand side? Yeah, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Wall right there to hold grading inside the buffer zone.
Good. Well, I appreciate you shifting things around.
Yeah, so I think I addressed everything that the commission brought up at the last meeting. And I did, as mentioned, talk to the assessors regarding the correct lot number and did get a updated certified abutters list that I mailed out with certified the white cards to all the abutters again for 23 Webster Street.
Okay, wonderful. All right, board, do we have any questions in regards to this hearing?
No, not me.
Mike,
Good. No, looks good.
Art,
No,
Eric,
No, I'm good.
and Mark?
I'm okay.
Okay. Steve?
I'm good.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to this hearing? I'm not seeing any. So board, I would suggest, so that we can get the correct number on the agenda, to continue to the next hearing, And if that's okay with the applicant, just to make sure that we have the correct address, and then we'll get that decision prepared for that day.
There won't be any other changes or anything like that.
No, this would be the plan date that we're going with. So I would just feel more comfortable. Steve, I don't even think that, I mean, the applicant can be here, but
Right.
just to feel more comfortable with an opportunity for the public to, just in case somebody missed it.
And I have to point out, I like the DEP number.
He likes the DEP number.
1,000.
1,000, it's a milestone.
Milestone. We can only get the addresses correct.
Yeah.
After 1,000 times. Okay.
When is the next meeting?
The 5th,
October 5th.
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Okay, I think my client's okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would, if Steve's in agreement, I would, prepare to get the erosion control installed, and then we can get that, I can sign for the board if the board gives me permission. So we don't have to do like the whole, depending on how the board feels, the domino of people.
Yeah. Hey, this is Dale here.
Yes.
I appreciate all
Name
your.
and address, please.
I'm sorry. This is Dale
Name and
Bangma.
address, please.
575 Hazel Street, Uxbridge, Mass.
Okay.
I appreciate all your efforts. I understand the address has been the issue right along. And we'll wait till the next meeting. But if you could approve it tonight, I'd appreciate it. But we can move forward.
Okay, I appreciate that. I just don't want to see something happen. We got all this way and it was incorrect, so.
Agreed.
I don't see why you couldn't install the erosion control. We're not going to make any changes to the plan, so.
All right. That sounds great to me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, board, I'll entertain a motion to continue.
Yeah, Tracy, I make a motion to continue the hearing on 23 Webster Street to 7 PM on October 5th.
Motion's been made.
Second.
And motion's been seconded. Roll call vote.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike, you're on mute. Mike Greco, you're on mute. Still on mute.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can I hear your name roll call vote to continue?
Mike Greco,
Mark.
aye.
Yeah. Tracy Shetty, aye.
Don't you
Okay.
look
Thank you. Thank you, Margaret. Okay. Now the next one, 97 Chestnut Street. Did Katie Grace read that notice? Why does it say continued? Was it advertised? You're in mute.
It never went in.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to read this advertisement for the next item on the agenda. 97 Chestnut Street, Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold public meeting, request for determination of applicability, Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Legal notice for a public meeting. The commission will hold a public hearing for Mike Quinones on September 14th, 2020 at 7 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability work is 97 Chestnut Street, and the applicant is requesting permission to construct a 2-car garage within the 100-foot buffer zone. Meeting to be held remotely via Zoom meetings. September 4th, 2020. That one was opposite. It said it would hold a public hearing. So I don't know what we need to do, but there's some inferior notice that's posted on our website, is what I'm thinking.
No,
So-
that was not your fault. That was the Worcester Telegram and Gazette. Got 'em-
Oh, okay. I don't know why we're not, Steve, you gotta get on that for me.
So
Because it
I
has
did-
to be notified correctly.
Yeah, I did. I don't know where they're getting them from. So I did redo with the ones with the COVID and had have them posted on the cable website.
Okay,
They-
and our website also?
Our website right now. So there should be the two new ones with the COVIDs, one RDA and one NOI are posted on the website of the last week. Unfortunately, they didn't take off the old ones. So I haven't had time. I would have to go in there if I could ask Susanna or Pat, who can probably do that real easily. Just take off the old ones that don't have the COVID language.
Okay,
But there
that
are,
would be nice.
but if you go on the website, you can take a look at the ones where pretty much we have the old ones when we appended the COVID state language to those two new notices. So they're
Okay.
on the town website right now.
All right, great. Okay, all right, so this is an RDI. And does the applicant want to present? Can't hear you, Margaret. Name and address, please.
Yeah, Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm representing Mike Quinose of 97 Chestnut Street. And my client came to me a couple months ago wanting to build a garage on his property. And I knew that there was wetlands in the back. And then this plan here is just an old plan, an old septic plan that he had that I superimposed what he would like to do on his property with the proposed garage. And I know there's the commission has concerns about allowing buildings within so many feet of wetland areas. So before he got into this too deeply and spent a lot of money on a real survey, just kind of presenting this to the board right now to see if something like this would be doable. And if you go up to the right, left-hand corner of this plan, you can see I've got a picture here, pretty much where he wants to put that garage, right there on that existing driveway next to his house. And so basically this RDA is just to kind of get a feel from the board, something allowable, and if so, then we'd prepare a real notice of intent. We just didn't want to go to the expense to find out that he doesn't have a shot. But I'm not quite sure in a situation like this, since it's kind of a gray area, since it's already a disturbed site, prefab garage, metal buildings.
So is the plan misnoted at the 50 to the 100?
Well, the
Brad?
wetlands up that front corner, you're probably about 25 to 30 feet right there.
And what type of excavation is proposed for the pole building?
Yeah, it's probably, he'll have a slab, and then it's just one of those prefab metal buildings.
So you're excavating for slab?
Yeah, right, and where the existing driveway is.
So it's 100% in the existing driveway area?
If that's one of the conditions, we can make sure that happens.
And I don't see from this plan a front setback line. Won't you have a plot plan anyway for the building permit?
Yeah, we do a real survey. This is right now is just, I wanted to present something to the board to see if this would be doable before my client spent a lot of money on a real survey and a notice of intent.
Well, they'll have to do a real survey anyway. And is there any proposed grading?
There wouldn't be much grading, no, because right there, it's all driveway, it's straight in. That plan there is an old plan, that grading is not like that.
Right, so you have a 100-foot buffer, then you have a second 100-foot, so it's just mismarked as the 50 to the 100.
Correct.
Okay, so board, what are your thoughts? Let me go down the line.
Yeah.
Hold on. Mike Greco?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay, Art?
So we're talking about putting a slab on top of the current driveway is what we're
For
talking about.
earthwork and excavation and earthwork, yes.
I think we need to see more.
It-
I mean, I don't have any problem with what they're talking about doing. We need to see some more information though.
Yeah, so I guess the applicant is asking, would we be okay with the filing of an RDA, or do we want a notice of intent? Right?
No, actually, well, I advised my client, I didn't want to, him to go to the expense of a full notice of intent. At this point, if the commission wouldn't allow us a garage that close to the wetland, even though it's already on the existing driveway. If you go back up to that picture there in the corner. Yeah. So basically the RDA is just to see right now if we should go to the next step, and it is potentially, I didn't know if the commission would say, no, that you can't have a building a garage within 50 feet. I know there's that bylaw, but I didn't know if it would apply to this situation.
Okay.
Exactly how close, Margaret, do you think it is to the wetlands?
I'm probably 25 to 30 feet, but like I said, I would do a real delineation and a real survey if we were to move forward. If we had the possibility of, if we kept this thing in the driveway, or even moved it closer to the house if we had to. He's open to that.
Okay. Mark?
Well, first, I would not approve of it being an RDA. I would want it to go to a notice of intent. Secondly, I would say that I would prefer to see the garage moved forward and closer to the street so that it can be further away from the wetland.
We've got the septic system right there.
Oh, so we do.
Yeah, I think we'd be able to do that, though. If you take a look at that picture again, just move it straight up that driveway, and my client is open to that.
I think if that was done, I would be okay with it. I mean, I'd like to see 50 feet, but if it can't quite be 50 feet, then it would probably be okay with me because it's on an area that's already been disturbed.
Yeah, is this plan showing, is this an actual as-built plan?
No, I don't think so.
It was just proposed?
Yeah.
Oh, because I saw the driveway is supposed to be on the other side, I thought.
Right. But that's the only thing we had right now. And it was just something to kind of put something together, economically to see if the board would be open to a garage here. And then obviously notice of intent process. We're trying to circumvent the process. Just didn't want to go to that expense if it wasn't going to happen. That's all.
Okay. Steve, could you pan down to the plan a little bit more to the bottom there? Oh, that says, so the original filing, I'm sure he filed for an order in 98. It showed the driveway on the other side. Is there two driveways?
Yes, there is actually.
So if you put it on the other side, there's another wetland on the other side?
Yeah, that wetland goes all the way around the back.
But what is the 109, so all the way to the left?
Yeah, that wetland keeps going around the back. That's an old delineation there.
But, so the driveway existing was not approved under the original order.
I don't know, we're talking 98. I don't know what happened. You know, or even if who owned it then, but, you know, if we did go through the notice of intent process, obviously we could take a look at, you know, different alternatives, a real survey and a real wetland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I see the 50 foot, so you can't really move that too much. And it's a 28 by 36, so that's like a 3-car. Which I'm not sure a slab on grade at that size, if that's allowed, but board, Eric?
Yeah, kind of like what Mark was saying, if you could move it up any, more up the driveway would be ideal.
Yeah, so you've got the 50 foot coming around. You can see it faintly on the plan. And it's almost exactly that spot. Steve, comments?
Yeah, well, it's not really detailed information, so I think the notice of intent, I think Margaret was just trying to get out of it. If it happens when she files the notice of intent and she has more detailed information, and she happens to be within the 50, given the circumstances, is that definitely a no? But it sounds like this commission might be amenable as long as it stays on the existing driveway. But
yeah,
that's a notice of intent. She'll probably flag it and get surveyed, and we'll get a lot more detailed information. And
yeah, it's hard to tell.
it's hard to tell anything. It's hard to
Because
give
this
advice.
plan doesn't even reflect the actual conditions, the existing conditions.
Yeah.
If it was an as-built plan, that's one thing, but looks as though they've added a driveway. You have a driveway on the other side. You could possibly get a variance from the ZBA. They've done that before to stay outside the wetland.
Right, and really the intent of this was just trying to kind of get a feel from the board if we can move forward with this. That's all.
Okay. So a consensus.
Correct.
Board, do we want to do a roundabout call? I'm
Well,
okay with.
I have a question.
Yep.
The drawing here shows the proposed garage kind of straddling the 50.
Yep.
Where is that on the other thing you had, Steve? The other photo you had up here of a shot of the yeah. So where would that garage be on this drawing?
It'd be pretty much in the existing driveway.
Yeah, but where? All the way back where that
No, it wouldn't go past the existing building, the existing house. It wouldn't go beyond. Yep, it'd be pushed up forward. And like I said, this I've got to do a real survey, and then I'll, based on the comments I heard tonight, I'll kind of replace that building as far away from the wetlands as I can get it, and to stay within zoning too, and take a look at other options.
I mean, the sheer size does not allow for it to come forward, and we did take a look at that. We did take that into account on the last one, the 36 Davis, and he did reduce the size. So you're at 36 feet in depth.
Okay.
Okay, so consensus board.
Well, it's an RDA, so she either has to withdraw it or you have to make a decision on it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just asking for the board's opinion right at this moment. Mark, do you have anything else?
No, I think I already gave you my opinion, so I don't have anything further. I would want to see the plan and judge it on the plan with the accurate information.
Yeah, okay. So we can entertain a motion to issue a positive determination and request the applicant to file a notice of intent for the proposed activities.
Yes.
Okay. If no board members have anything else, applicant, any other questions?
No, I think this is
Okay.
what we're looking for.
Okay, all right, good. All right, board, I'll entertain a motion. I can't see anybody because I can't figure this out yet, but if Steve just stops screen sharing, I think it fixes my life. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
What, you're looking for a motion for a positive RDA?
Mhm.
Okay, so move for a positive RDA for
Rick.
97 Chestnut Street.
Okay, motion's been made.
Second,
Second by Mark. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, thank you very much.
You.
Okay, go in the playroom. Okay, Steve, do we want to keep Evan on the line?
Yeah, so, so associate members should not be confused with voting alternatives. Basically with the MACC handbook. So associate members are non-voting members.
Okay. Evan, how's it going?
I'm here.
Okay.
You know, in the worst world, I have to drive out to have this happen. So I'm going to take my slight victory that I can still home in PJs, and I'm home as soon as we turn this off. So I guess we'll continue one more time. I think if this happens again, I'm going to have to ask and look to close the hearing so that I can eventually rely on you can still vote afterwards, but I can eventually rely on a no decision being constructive approval if that were to play out 3 more times. That's otherwise the only way I can close it.
Steve,
Yeah.
Is that a true statement?
Well, Evan has to grant the request for the continuance. So
I grant the continuance. We'll talk about if we have to go another route. We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would have to. I guess you could vote with. We'd have to figure out a way. If you know how many people vote, and then maybe Katie Grace can vote. Proxy.
Okay. And let me see what I can do also between now and then.
Yeah. Right now, it's just. I don't think anyone has an issue. It's just procedurally. You had one member missing one time and one member missing this time. Maybe Eric can be a member by then.
Yeah, that's a better idea.
I mean, yeah.
I could also file some notice too.
Could you set it up to make him a member by at the beginning of the next meeting? Is that something that's possible?
Well, Eric would have to, yes, the selectmen would appoint him as a full member at their meetings, and they're having meetings, I think, every other week, if not every week. So we can try to make that happen. And you know, Eric, you've had pretty good attendance anyway, so
Yeah. A lot easier.
All right, so let's we'll try to get Eric a full member for next time for the October 5th.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Okay,
No
so we're gonna continue the public hearing for 0 Wallen Lake Road, ASD Wallen Mass Solar, shade tree cutting. If we could have a motion to continue that to 7 p.m. on October 5th.
Second,
Second, roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Eric Harris.
Tracy Sharkey abstain. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, the next item is under new business, right, Steve?
That's right.
Okay, I'll read the notice. I'm hoping that it was correctly filed. And looks like it. So
that's a notice that's going to be on the website. I tweaked it a little bit, but that's pretty much what it looks like on the website.
Okay, public hearing, St. Dennis Church earth removal, 62 Manchog Street. And I've lost it. Okay, here we go. The Douglas Conservation Commission, notice of public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on September 14th, 2020 at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by Pine Sand and Stone for earth removal for St. Denis Cemetery expansion located at 62 Manchong Street. A portion of the work will occur within the 100-foot buffer zone to wetlands and within the Mumford Riverfront area. A driveway stream crossing is proposed for upland access. Public participation will be via virtual means only pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Douglas Conservation Commission will be conducted via remote participation. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website, www.douglas-ma.gov, at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the notice of intent may be examined electronically by contacting Steve Ziss at sziss@douglasma.org, September 1, 2020. Thank you very much. Okay. Welcome, and someone from the applicant?
Hi,
Here?
Tracy. Yep, Eric Bizet with Allen Engineering.
Okay. You want to give us a brief overview of the
Sure.
project?
Yeah, if I could. So what we're proposing is a approximately 6 acre earth removal project. And this is off of Manchog Street behind St. Denis Cemetery. And I saw you had possible votes on the agenda for tonight, but what we would like to do is just continue the meeting tonight. We'll give you an overview, answer any questions you have, and then request a continuance because we want to have these hearings run concurrently with the planning board. And we haven't met with them yet. So we just want to give you the overview tonight and answer any questions that you might have and go from there.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's just a note that we put on everybody just in case.
Okay. So we have 3 parcels of land that are involved with this earth removal project. The first one off of Manchog Street is the actual St. Denis Cemetery itself. And then behind that is a parcel that's owned by the Catholic Church. It's listed as the Roman Catholic Bishop of Worcester as being the owner. Mm-hmm. And then the third parcel is owned by Fay Maniac. And that parcel has frontage and a house down on West Street. So between those 3 parcels, the total area is about 43 acres, but we're only proposing work on 6 acres of that. So, okay, that would be, yep, that would be the second parcel there owned by the Catholic Church. So, yep, and that's the third parcel. That's the Fay Maniac parcel there. So what I wanted to do was just kind of walk you through the earth removal area that we're looking at on the second sheet of the plans. We can go there, Steve.
Let me see if we, hang on, let me bring it up again. Hang on a second. Oh.
The board also has a set of plans too on the Google Drive.
You see that?
It's kind of nice. Yep. Second page.
If you can go to this.
Yep, there you go.
That's it. Okay, so where the driveway comes in off of the cemetery, that's part of our access drive to the back of the earth removal area. That site, it's in the riverfront area, and we tried to get it further away from the river, but there's graves all along the perimeter of that driveway in the cemetery, and the only break that we could find in the grave sites was where they keep the dumpster park there. So where we're proposing to enter actually exit the cemetery is right at that dumpster location. There's a bit of an existing road through there, and then we make a 90-degree bend in that access road and go directly away from the river to minimize our riverfront impacts. So all the work within the riverfront is just for that section of the access drive. It starts out within the 100 foot, and then it goes directly to the 200 foot, and then we're away from the river. So we looked at other points of access, but that was the only place that we could get in due to the location of the graves around the perimeter. So then as we travel down the access road, we come to an intermittent stream that we need to cross to get to the back upland area. And to cross that stream, we're proposing 364 square feet of BVW fill. And we have a 600 square foot replication area proposed to offset that. That's a ratio of 1.6 to 1. I know your bylaw has a 1.5 to 1 requirement for replication. So the replication area will meet your bylaw requirements. And then where we're crossing the stream, we're proposing an open bottom box culvert. We've proposed this similar type of crossing with other streams that we've permitted in Douglas. So we have the details for that on the third sheet. If you want to go through that, we can do that. But it's just a three-sided box culvert. We drop it over the stream and then restore the bottom of the stream bed with stone after the culvert's been installed. And it's a pretty small stream to begin with, so we don't see that as a major undertaking. But it is going to be expensive because those box culverts do require some work and concrete footings. So after we cross the wetlands, or after we cross the intermittent stream, that gets us into the actual gravel pit area. And like I say, that's around 6 acres, and we pretty much ran the edge of the earth removal area along the 50-foot wetland offset, and kept that 50 foot as our limit of work wherever we had wetlands near the actual earth removal. So we do have stormwater management proposed with the project. We're not proposing any impervious areas, but we do have stormwater management to help remove the TSS that's associated with the earth removal, and also to just mitigate some of the peak flows that we have after the site's been, all the vegetation has been removed. You're going to increase the peak rate of runoff. So these are detention basins to help slow down the rate of runoff from the site. And they'll also infiltrate some stormwater too. It's all gravel in there. So we expect most of the time the basins will be working just as infiltration basins into the sand. So the planning board has a requirement that the bottom of the pit has to be 10 feet above groundwater. So we installed some monitor wells. We did some readings out there, and then based on those readings, we graded the pit so that the final grade of the pit is going to be 10 feet above the groundwater, the observed high groundwater readings that we had there. So we expect that the operation may last 1 to 2 years. And at which time, the restoration would be completed. It could go faster than that, but we still have to meet with planning board and agree to the conditions of how much we can remove in one day and what days we can work, what our hours will be.
I
So,
think I already can draw with all these.
so that's pretty much the overview of the project. If anyone has any questions.
Do you have a calculation for square footage within the riverfront area? Anywhere on the plan?
Yeah, that would be it was right in the notice. Hold on, I'll pull that up for you.
Eric,
Okay.
it was 8,686 square feet of riverfront.
Name and
area.
address, please.
Oh, Andy Leonard, 1 Rockwood Lane, Upton, Mass.
We have a new minute taker, so she's not gonna know everybody yet. And what was that number again?
Eric, that was 86 square feet of riverfront area.
Yep,
Oh,
there you go.
okay.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
And yes, that's gonna be under the 10%, right, Steve? Of one lot,
Well, they
created
should-
before 96
They should have that calculation on the
plans.
plans with the
Yeah.
survey.
Okay.
I looked around for it before I asked.
It was on
Okay.
there, but yeah, so, I mean, I have a couple of comments. I mean, if you want me to
Yeah,
go through 'em.
Steve, go for it.
Yeah, so I walked it this weekend. It took me a while to get out there. Unfortunately, a lot of these projects, we've lost some of my administration help, so I'm working double duty. So I have to plan my time accordingly. So I walked there. It's a significantly, it's a pretty good site. I mean, you can understand why they're going out there with the gravel knolls. Couple things I noticed right away is that the wetland delineation looks pretty straightforward. I know Equitech did it. It's so steep, some of those slopes, it's a toe slope. But a couple of comments where if you see this after you cross the wetlands here, this whole area here, they've only flagged one side of the resource area. And if you can just put some notes on the plan, because there's a larger parcel that you're not using, that maybe you can just make sure that the other side of the resource area wasn't delineated.
Okay.
So we don't want to prove something where you come back later and you might say, oh, well, this was, the wetland isn't really over here where it might be. So if you can just make sure that you're distinguishing that there's other resources on site that weren't delineated, and we're
Okay.
just to be what's inside of this pocket that you're looking at.
Yes.
That was one of them. Another thing Tracy just mentioned, riverfront calculations. There's multiple parcels, so I'm not sure if that falls on just the one parcel or the other parcels as you're coming in. The big area would be let me zoom into the wetland replication area. It was kind of tricky when you first walked out there because I took the path that came down and not the one that you used. And that area where the stream is, he has it, which I haven't seen before. He's got the C series flagging representing BVW. And also bank, and it's hard to determine how you got the open stream ratio calculations for your open box culvert, which is based on the bank of the crossing.
Yeah.
And in that area of the crossing, I'm not sure if he located the bank or because it looks like if you go to your detail sheet, maybe I'll go to your detail sheet.
Okay.
Is where the crossing is. Here it is here. It looks like the culvert's inside the wetland delineation. It's hard to determine where the bank is. So in theory, if you want the culvert to span the bank and have by 1.2 feet and have a little corridor on either side, and it almost looks like this might be inside of the stream area.
Yeah.
So it was a little confusing on what he flagged out there for that, in order to make that crossing. If
Okay.
it was just BVW or if he actually did the bank, it's a kind of a.
Do we have the logs, Steve? Because he just did B series and C series. He didn't do bank.
Yeah, the S series were the bank flags. And we did give a calculation at the detail for the open bottom culvert.
Oh, there's an S.
So there were, what we used was the average bank width. So what we had was the bank full width was 1.2 times 6 feet. So we were calling 6 feet as the average width there.
Okay.
And
Which
that's
is
how it
fine.
came.
If you just want to clarify that, I couldn't really understand that when I was in the field looking at it. Whoops, sorry.
Okay. Yep. I'll provide some clarification on that.
And I'm still going through, some of the stuff with the, just in general, walking through the site, I noticed up in this area, I don't even see my where my cursor is. There was right where the test pit is, there's actually a spring that comes out. This area, it's dry, but everything's dry, but it's actually wet in this area.
Okay.
And as I'm walking this hillside, it kind of occurring to me that all this runoff that comes off this hill bleeds, sheet flows into this wetland and feed this wetland.
Yeah.
As you're coming down, but after this construction, what's going to happen is that all this water that comes in here is going to get point source discharged to this basin, and then come out into the wetland down here. So everything upstream where it was getting fed off this hillside might not happen after the project.
Yeah, it's possible that surface water plays a role in that, but I think also you have that wetland at a higher elevation on the other on the high side of the earth removal area, and I think that groundwater there is traveling through the pit, through that sandy soil, and it's coming out down on that other wetland. So I think, and that's kind of what those test pits show that we did also.
Okay.
Was that the groundwater is deep up high, but it gets shallower down low by monitor wells 2 and 3.
Okay.
So what you're probably seeing is that you get the groundwater breaking out right along the edge of that wetland there. So I think that's probably one of the biggest factors that's feeding the wetland is just the groundwater flow through that sandy soil.
And on this, I guess what's this, the western side? So it's got these contours are going away from the wetlands, right? So that's going to be a natural deterrent.
Yes.
Kind of like how Sleepy Knoll is right now, where you're kind of carving down, so you're going to leave this big embankment.
Yes.
All right, great. So that's all I had time to really look at. And then I would have a detailed construction plan. If you're going to be phasing this. Construction sequence, the first thing we're gonna ask for is to completely, put the crossing in, and then after the crossing's done, then you can come in and whatever is your construction sequencing for. You say it's gonna take 2 to 3 years, maybe to finish this project.
Probably. We were thinking 1 to 2 years, but
1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
Who's speaking? Sorry, is that Eric?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Eric is that.
Okay.
So that's it for right now. And if you're having a stormwater, so if Earth, we had an email about this. So if planning board, we can certainly send the stormwater review in-house to the town engineer, but if they're going to send it out, then we'd like to use the same consultant. And they review it under the Wetlands Protection Act.
Yeah.
Eric, so sometimes they send them out and, there's other provisions under the Wetlands Protection Act stormwater that has a couple other criteria that we just want to make sure that if you want to be cohesive with conservation and planning, that the consultant has the ability to go to our board also and, maybe do a Zoom meeting and answer any questions the commission members might have.
Okay.
And then I had a couple questions too. The placement of that replication area.
Yes.
So as we're digging through, was there a specific reason why you put it there? on the other side of the crossing?
Yeah, we tried to find an area that was fairly flat, because the slopes are pretty steep on both sides, but there was kind of a plateau there that we could just dig into it and not have to pull back. If we tried to install it on the side of the hill, we'd end up having to grade it back much further. So it was just the trying to keep find a spot that had sort of a flat contour that was adjacent to the wetland.
Okay, so,
It could be moved if there was another place that you wanted to have it, but that was just where we thought it might be easiest to construct.
yeah, it doesn't look like you're gonna have much material, so you'll be importing in the wetland soils, right?
Right, yeah, we'll have to supplement what the wetland soils, there's gonna be some wetland soils, but we'll have to supplement that with.
Okay, yeah, I would just, try to take another look at that location. I can't really get a handle for it right now on my phone, but, check that out. And then, as far as Steve's point with the point source, the source discharge, does everything need to go to that one location? Or could you maybe split it up or do
Yeah,
some different alternative, basin?
Yeah, we could take a look at it and see. I know everything, what we end up doing is creating a low point that just, it comes to a point. It's not like
Yeah.
a long area that we have to deal with, especially if we have to excavate the bottom of the basin out, then we end up, really with not too many options, but we can take a look at that and see. There might be other things we can do. Maybe divert some of it, create a second basin. We'll take a look at it.
Or a third one, because you've got two right now.
Yeah,
And
actually,
then-
I think we have three. There's another one that comes in off the access drive, but we'll look at it and see if there's some way we can break that up.
Yeah.
So the
And,
cemetery is going to be on St. Denis property. So the rest of the property is not going to be, what is it? You're just taking the gravel, just an earth removal? It's not part of the cemetery project?
Right, it was,
Oh,
the expansion of the cemetery is something that we want to do sometime in the future. We're not sure when, but we know that this has to be done first and we want to do this now. So we decided rather than try and get them both permitted at the same time, we're going to go ahead and try and permit the earth removal first, then come in later with the cemetery when we're sure that's actually a reality. But,
And do you get any allowances for cemetery expansion
any,
as far as any, fast tracking or things like that? Exemptions?
oh, no, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, board, do we have any questions or comments at this time?
What is the water resources district line that's on this plan?
That is zoning, the town of Douglas has a zone that's water. Let's see. Want to make sure I get the terminology correct here. The Water Resource Protection Overlay District. And they have certain requirements if you're doing work within that zoning district. And what that is a recharge area for the public water supply. So our entrance drive coming in from the cemetery is within that district, but the actual earth removal area is just outside of it. So, but it's to answer your question, that's a zoning. It's a zoning.
Can you see it on the map here? Can you see it on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So the green that's the aquifer. That's the primary aquifer for the wells. So it looks like they're within it. So
Yeah.
is there criteria for that? Is that the planning board that would review that?
Yeah, they have a separate set of regulations for work that's within that district. So that's one of the things that we'll have to deal with the planning board application.
And I would have the same comments and concerns as what Steve and Tracy mentioned about all the water on the site going to the same detention basin there at the bottom or on the right side. Seems like your grades almost come out to grade or whatever to existing elevation at the bottom of the plan. There you might be able to get some water off into the upper part of that wetland, down there
Yeah.
at the
Okay.
bottom of the.
Yeah, we'll take another look at that and see if there's some way we can break that up.
And I assume the site is 100% wooded right now?
Yes.
Yeah. What kind of tree removal are we talking about with this project?
It would just be everything that's inside of that, we have that proposed land disturbance area. Everything that's within that land disturbance area, all the trees would be removed. And then when we do the reclamation, we come back, we put the topsoil back down, we plant it with different types of turf cover, and then anything else that the planning board requires in their earth removal permit.
I see there's a mapped habitat line up on the top part.
Yeah, we have the Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Program has that mapped as their habitat for the wood turtle. And we did file a copy of the notice with Natural Heritage, and they reviewed our project and they sent us a letter which basically states they approve the earth removal project with conditions. And they stated that this does not include any future cemetery expansion. If and when we do come back with those plans, that they would have a separate review for that. So Natural Heritage was okay with this. And Steve, I think I emailed you a copy of that.
Yeah, I think all the members have. It's on the Google Drive link that I sent everybody.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we have it.
It should be, I have a link right now. I set the links up, so you just click on the link and the letter should come up on the.
Very nice, Steve. Very nice. Okay, all right. Any questions, concerns?
No, I just asked that question about the tree
Trees.
removal. Yeah, we might have to talk about some plantings down the road.
Okay. Mike?
Nothing.
Okay, Eric?
All set.
Okay. What would your suggestion be for plantings? Because we would probably just prefer them to not take the trees down in certain areas if they're going to do plantings.
I don't know what's out there right now. But there might be something to walk out and take a look.
All right. Do we want to schedule a site walk, or do we want to just have it at your leisure?
Well, is it something we're going to be able to find easily enough, Steve?
I think if you go into, let me bring up the here.
Going through Manchog?
Yeah, hang on, let me get rid of these maps. So here's the cemetery on Manchog Street. And if you pull into the cemetery, you come in over here, over on this side right here is where you see some dumpsters and you can park off the cemetery.
Mhm.
And I walked in, you see there's actually a trail here. You can almost take this trail and cross the stream. The crossing is going to be over here.
Okay.
You can park right here and easily walk down. And so there's a trail here across the stream and kind of just walk into the woods here and get a flavor of what it looks like. without
Okay.
trucking through the woods too much.
And is it pretty clear where the crossing is going?
No.
Okay, so
You'd have-
Eric,
you'd have-
if we could get
you'd have-
that clarified in the field for the
Okay.
members.
Yep, we'll stake it in.
I mean, if you had a copy of the plan, you could truck up the stream and then look for the flag numbers.
And we've only got S series is 1 through 12, maybe? Eric?
Hold on a second.
Tracy,
Yeah.
I think the access road should be staked like every 50 feet so it can be followed to walk in to see the crossing and see where it's going up the hill.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I would suggest we ask them to stake the access road, like put a stake every 50 feet or so, where it's going through the riverfront area and up to the crossing.
Eric, would you be able to kind of do the rough middle of the road?
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
Either with flagging or a couple stakes. And then do we have the data sheets for all the series?
Yeah, it should be in the wetland report. If you don't have that, I can give it to you. I can get it
It's in
for
there,
you.
there are some data sheets in the NOI.
Okay.
Okay, so is it series S 1 to 12
Yes,
for
those are,
just the small crossing?
yeah, those were the bank flags. And
Okay,
then-
so it's only for a moment in time where there's actual stream crossing?
Right, the S series you should be able to see the break in the slope, where it's the actual stream bank. And then the C series and the B series are the BVW flags.
Yeah, I can't find the S1 easily on
Yeah,
this plan.
it doesn't show on this one. It shows the S flags.
In the detail. Yeah, that's right.
They're only on the
Yeah.
detail because it's otherwise you wouldn't be able to read any of them.
That's why they looked invisible.
Yeah, they're not on that sheet. So,
Okay, yeah. All right. So it's just 1 through 12 though, right?
yes.
Okay. All right. Steve, while they're out there, did you need some additional clarification on that series? And then
Yeah.
you also want the other side of the C series done,
No, not done.
Or-
Just noted that. they didn't-
noted? Okay, yeah, so
Yeah.
a note on the plans.
Yeah, the only technicality I noticed, I walked up this side over here where they started C1. I don't know if they cut it short. I mean, they could have continued it a little bit more,
Okay.
where the buffer is over here.
Yeah. Yeah, we can add a couple more flags there if you'd like to see that.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
we've got a meeting in 2 weeks, right? So,
No,
no,
in 3 weeks. It's on October 5th,
sorry.
or 4 weeks. How many weeks is that?
3.
3 weeks.
And just haven't put the date of the delineation on the plan.
Okay.
And I'll have some comments for you, some technical stuff. Do you need a wildlife habitat study? Maybe Art could answer that.
I don't think we exceeded any thresholds for it.
Right. Well, you're doing a crossing, so and you have the endangered species in the area. So it's been a while since I looked at that reg, but.
We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, Natural Heritage did mention they've already had a determination issued, right?
Yes.
And with conditions, so that would be part of our order anyway. Turtle protection plan.
Right.
And that's along with the there's pretty hefty requirements on that.
Yeah, we had to do one of those at another site that we worked on with Andy over in Northbridge. So we can use some of the same language that we had for that for ours here.
Yeah. The more stuff on the plan, the better.
Yep.
Well, anyway, I was going to suggest that maybe by the time we have our next meeting and they give us an update, that they can get this additional staking done. So then we can walk out at our leisure, or if you guys want to get together and talk about it at the next meeting, to do a group walk, that's up to the majority, I suppose.
Yeah, Eric, when do you think you would have things staked out for us?
You know, we could probably have it done this week. If not this week, next week for sure.
Send me an email when you're all said and done. I'll pass it on to the members.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right.
That's good. Yep.
Okay, board, do we have any other questions? No, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have questions or concerns in regards to this hearing? Steve, can you double check for me? If you want to raise your hand. I'm not seeing anybody. What?
I just wanted, before Andy leaves, I know Andy's sitting here, but Andy, before you take off, I just wanted you to stick around so we can talk about extending Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
That's no, I don't see anything, Tracy.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to October 5th at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Motion been made. Motion seconded. Roll call vote.
Mark Motmany, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Come on, Mike.
I may have been muted. Okay, Mike Greco, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, folks.
All right. Steve, did you want to talk about Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah, why? Yeah, he was just commission. He had a request to extend the. Did he leave?
No.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah, you had
He
moved. You moved. You had a request to extend the order of conditions for a Sleepy Hollow subdivision. And I think the commission just had a couple of questions about. You asked for 1 year, 3 years on that. You want to give an update on the subdivision? By the way, that the water line came off great, fabulous.
Yeah, they had a great crew there. It literally took them 4 hours to directional bore underneath there, so that went very well. So I guess what came to mind was really 3 years would be plenty of time to complete the subdivision. Tracy and Steve, I believe there'll be some lots before the board here shortly from Guerriere. I think there'll be 6 lots that are going to need conservation approval. But as far as the road, I think 3 years is more than adequate, even with some fluctuations in the real estate market, to complete the road. The road is paved. All the lots are loam seeded and stabilized. I think, Steve, if you've seen all the check dams we put in,
yep.
Those get cleaned periodically after major storm events. So it's holding up very well, and hope to keep it that way through the development of the lots. But I guess I'd like to see 3 years.
Okay. Board, any questions on this request for an extension? The request came in before it was expired. I'll entertain a motion to continue or extend.
Where is this? I don't even know where Sleepy Hollow subdivision is.
It's across from on your way to Bosma's Golf Course on the left. It's on the right as you as you're leaving town, heading into Uxbridge.
So there's no houses on it yet?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's well maintained. He's hydroseeded it. It's I go out periodically after storms, at least twice a month, because it's pretty well stable. All the detention ponds are in. The major thing that he had left to do was the water line, cutting down through that steep hill coming out to 36 Davis that we looked at today. I mean, I have pictures I can send people.
We have pictures in our file also.
Okay.
The photos of the water line and stuff.
Well, yeah.
And then there's some other ones there. So, I'll entertain a motion for the extension of the order
So moved.
for 3 years. From the
Second.
date of expiration, or is it from today's date?
Expiration.
Okay. All right. Motion been made and was seconded by Mark, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Roll call vote. All those in favor?
Art Monmany's aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
So that was number 13 on our agenda.
Yeah. It was number 12. Wait, let me see. 12 in the Google email.
Yeah, 12 in the Google email.
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Not 6, huh?
What?
6 was 69 Woodland Road.
Oh, yes. So
Yeah, but it says Deer Crossing there. Deer Crossing Development, so it's confusing. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
What happened to that one?
We'll go back. Okay, new business, 7 PM. Notice of intent, public hearing, 69 Woodland Road, lot number 21, Deer Crossing Development. We have a correspondence from the applicant withdrawing the application.
Withdrawing, well, I guess, yeah, he never advertised the notice of, the ad for the notice of intent. And his contentions are that they have an existing order of conditions from, that were from 3 years ago. That they forgot to extend it, but given that because of COVID, that extension automatically is granted during this period. So why he's in this grace period of extension with the COVID, he's coming in at the next meeting to request a 3-year extension on that permit. They thought they had missed the deadline and had to refile all over again. But it came to their attention that they didn't miss it based on the governor's order during COVID that all those permits were automatically granted. So
yeah,
they thought it had extended. It had expired in June, and they didn't realize that, and then it had elapsed without requesting an extension. But that does not seem to be the case. So they're going to come in. They gave some paperwork. I'd have to go through the file and make sure that all those dates are correct, and they'll be in on October 5th.
okay. There was a tolling period, essentially a freeze in the time frames of certain permits. So we'll just double check that, and then they'll be in on the 5th.
That's correct.
So this doesn't require any action from us, does it?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
No. It's probably why I skipped over it. Okay. Next item on the agenda is going to be request for a certificate.
Yeah. Which one's that? Is that 68?
Yeah, Depot Street, Steve.
Depot Street?
Who's speaking? Name and address.
Les Stevens, 31 Brookside Drive, Douglas.
Okay. All right, board. So you have in your packet on your desktop request with the as-built plan. Steve, you're good with that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The as-built plan came out, and then the site. I mean, I can bring up some photos. The site came out great too.
Yeah, we seeded it in July, and half the lawn burnt because of the temperatures, and then we ended up reseeding it again in the August timeframe, and it all took to. We've mowed it quite a few times.
Are these coming up?
Yep.
Yep, those look good, Steve. Yeah. So, yeah, we had to hit the sideline over here between the fence and the side. So it's all coming really good. Plantings were all done. So no issues, no concerns and stuff like that. So
Everything's stabilized.
Yep. Removed. Yeah. The only thing I got to go back in is cut out some of the Strauss wattle upon your approval.
And he submitted the as-built with overlaying on top of the proposed plan. So it looks like it matches up.
Yep.
I walk by there all the time and they did a very neat job.
Oh, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to grant the certificate of compliance for 68 Depot Street.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. Roll call vote, please.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Thank you very much. Next one on the agenda is 131 Franklin. Steve, we have in our Google Drive one picture with red on it.
You do? Just one?
I see as it's listed as built.
Oh, the as-built. Yeah, there should be a link for photos. too.
Yeah, there's a photo right there, Steve. You're sharing.
There we go.
Yep.
So
Yep. There's a side yard. Yep.
this was taken this last week.
Yep.
Whenever 9/11, Friday.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
lawn
name and
keep-
address, please.
Les Stevens, 31 Brookside Drive, Douglas. So yep, the lawn's installed, and we've it continues to grow. We
So
had
this is
to.
where, sorry,
Yep.
Les, this is where you had that existing loop driveway and you put the boulders up to, the commission wanted that to be, not be able to be driven over. So I think you
Correct.
did-
Correct, Steve. Yeah. The only change was from, I think when we had the initial discussion, we talked about 3 to 5 boulders. We ended up putting 10 boulders there in total to close that access, which was the loop from the older previous existing driveway turnaround. And we removed the concrete pad that was there for the dog kennel, and then there's
The guy used to raise some nice dogs.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had one.
I had one too.
so yeah.
Mine's still alive after 14 years.
Yeah. No. I mean, he was a good dog taker and stuff like that. But yeah, the property's come a long way from what it was to where it is now. So
Yeah, it looks good. I don't have any issues.
Jada?
Good. Okay, I'll entertain a motion, board.
Move to issue a certificate of compliance for 131 Franklin Street.
Motion been made.
Second.
Second, by Mike. Roll call vote, please.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay. Tracy Sharkey, aye. Thank you very much.
Steve, just email me when they're ready to be picked up, I guess, and I can get them
Yeah,
recorded.
well, yeah, so I'm down some support here, so
Yeah,
it could
no.
be a little bit.
No, I understand. Just send me an email when they're ready. I'll swing by if they're in a folder. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item, we received a letter. I don't know if anybody read it. That violation, the 55 Lakeshore Drive, when he made the driveway. I said September 1, still not done. So we'll just have to determine the fine during the October 5th meeting. So we'll put that. What did you say, Steve?
He's been in correspondence with me, him and his associate, regularly, and
Okay.
they hired a consultant.
Okay.
Mr. Murphy going out there. I think they just need time to get the plan together.
Okay. All right, so board, we're just up to date on that. Next item, 50 Southwest Main Street, letter from Lawrence Bazile. And I see Larry's on. You're muted. Name and address, please.
Lawrence Basil, and I live at 50 Southwest Main Street.
Okay, and Steve, you wanna update us on what you received, correspondence?
Let's see, want me to bring the letter up or?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see.
We'll update the board. Or Larry, if you want to just update us, you sent a correspondence in.
Can you see it?
Yep.
I bought the property 12 years ago and have spent the entire 12 years. There's restrictions on earthen dams. Probably everyone was broken by the previous owner.
Uh-huh.
And about trees can't be more than 6-inch diameter. And so I was in fact, I called in for an inspection from the dam group from the state after we had gotten rid of a whole bunch of the major trees anyway.
Yeah.
Then they came in and there's still some trees to be removed on the slope of the inside. We're 3/4 of the way done with it, but it's the expense of eliminating a large tree and getting a crane in there to remove it. It's fairly prohibitive. By the way, we made I opened up to the public from here. We leveled all the shrubbery that was along the dam. Not all of it, but some swamp maples and stuff. But most of the stuff regenerates itself by spring. But so that people can fish or use as a beach, the diving rocks along the way.
Okay, so Steve, do we have an ORAD on this property, correct? That was filed, an ANRAD was filed. We don't have any active order of conditions or an RDA that was filed.
No, I think to do the dam work.
Yeah.
No, I think Mr. Larry, remember you came in probably before COVID with Mr. Speroni and another gentleman, and you're saying how you had a letter from the dam safety. You had like 30 days to do some work that they're ordering you to do on the dam.
Right, but they never know to have any correspondence with them of notice. There's never been a letter sent, and I bet 500 phone calls.
Right.
And you could only leave a message because you never get a person. And they said you can't remove any more trees, which I had the labor this summer that I was planning on using to remove the sloping side of the dam. Trees had grown up out of that side. These were a lot before I owned it, but nonetheless, and I know it's my responsibility. But he said we couldn't touch it until we got a letter of conditions from the state. And then I went down and they said, well, why don't you call the state guy? And there's a state guy in Worcester. And I've called him. But the reason you got a letter is we didn't know who to call. I know that there's still trees to be removed. And now is a good time to start getting on whatever winter cutting you're going to be doing. I'm ready.
Right. Right, so I think when we talked, I recommend you said you had hired an engineer and you're putting a plan and something together to give to the dam safety, and then once you had whatever
Phase one inspection is what we're
right,
waiting.
whatever inspections and criteria that they wanted you to do, that you would take those requirements and submit a notice of intent to the commission for them to review it and do the work.
No, I said, mentioned to you that we're ready to go. Oh, you can't do anything until you get a letter from the commission. We never received any. We've had no communication. I've written some letters, and then we did the letter that you received, the formal, because basically we were ready to.
Right. It was my understanding when you were in the office that we mentioned we'd expedite any meeting that you'd have to get on to comply with your order from the dam safety, and that you would just have to file some paperwork, notice of intent, or whatever the dam safety or your engineers. You had an engineer that's working with yourself and dam safety, that they were going to go ahead and file the paperwork to get on to the Conservation Commission's meeting, and I haven't seen anything since you left the office.
I think that they were waiting for them to get in touch with us, and then they were going to. That's the way I thought it was left. Also, I wouldn't have been.
Because when it comes to dam, it's my understanding is that whatever you're proposing, you have to propose to your work, whatever work you're proposing to do, and is approved by dam safety with their criteria, is that what you're going to get approval from the commission to do? So do you know what that work is yet?
Well, yeah, it would be on the sloping side, remove all the trees that have over a stitch diameter, which we've.
Yeah, so I guess the point was,
Steve, could I interject for 1 second? So the Office of Dam Safety requires a dam safety permit application for projects involving removal of trees in excess of 4 inches in diameter. So our board will require, you already have an ORAD that you did extensive work on highlighting, where all the resource areas are. So you know which ones are in our jurisdiction, and you would have to then file with the Conservation Commission for a permit. So dam safety website has all of the regulations, and if you are removing brush and trees 4 inches and less in diameter, the Office of Dam Safety may find a permit is not necessary to conduct work. I would still file an RDA for any work in the dam area, and that RDA would be good forever. So we did this at the Beagle Club owned dam. They had an RDA, so their maintenance of their dam with the brush. But the first place that you need to start is the Office of Dam Safety and file a permit if it's over the 4 inches in diameter for the clearing. And then you would come to us, and I would say that if it's less than 4 inches and they're not going to require a permit from you, I would just file an RDA.
We have several on that side of the dam that are a foot in diameter at least.
So I would suggest first you file with dam safety, you file their permit application, which is part A of a chapter 253 dam safety permit application, and then come to the board and file your notice of intent for all the activity within our jurisdiction.
Okay.
So that's, they're the ruling party here.
Mm-hmm.
And
fine.
We would just monitor. I'm sure they're going to monitor, but we would monitor to make sure, say, more trees weren't taken down somewhere else or something. Whatever you're going to do, we would permit you to do that for the dam safety.
Now, tied on to that is the first time we applied for this, the woman, it was her last meeting, the former commissioner, conservation commissioner, and that was the night that the Eagle Scout had the bridge going over the stream, and he got turned down and all. And anyway, there's a lot of publicity about that meeting. Anyway, by the end of the meeting, she thought I was applying for putting a pond in, which is already is in. Well, it was in before I bought the house, for the runoff, because then the entire when they redid Southwest Main Street, they removed every culvert, and all the entire street comes down to that stream at the bottom and flows through our property. And I planted a number of those stooge arborvitaes, which they're pretty much doing the job, but it dries to a bone in the summer, which it is right now, or was last week. But she put a restriction on me selling, moving, or doing anything on the property until that was lifted. Now that's a pond that, I mean, I could show you, if you look at a satellite thing from 1978, it shows that pond's there.
Right. Larry, I was on the board also during that time.
Yeah.
So we're talking about directly related to the dam, and
Right.
whatever dam safety wants you to do.
Right.
We need to review that and give you a permit as well. It also says, please note the dam owner is responsible for ensuring that all other local, state, and federal agency permits that may apply to planned work are obtained prior to conducting work. So I would just focus on what your task is at hand. If you received a letter for that phase 2 inspection, that you address just that, and then we have an ORAD that we issued you, and then we'll just go from there. So whatever additional work proposed, not related to that ponding situation.
There's no, but what do you do about work that you're not going to do because there's no ponding? The pond that is on the satellite map, I think, was put in there to collect all the runoff.
Right, but what
I
you need to do as required by the state for being an owner of a dam is you need to do whatever they're telling you to do.
But that's in a different address even. It's not even at the same address. The woman,
Right.
she never addressed anything on which was the address of the dam. So
Was the board, but so bottom line is you need to file with us before you do any additional clearing. Once you get your dam safety protocols and your game plan and they approve that, you have to, and you can concurrently file with us. So
I believe I believe the engineers file that, and that's why we were in this limbo, that we think maybe we're not in a limbo.
We're not in a limbo. We haven't seen anything from your engineer requesting to be on our agenda and a filing for a permit, either an RDA or.
Next thing is I have him call you and get a file.
Yeah, just submit your application, whatever you submitted to dam safety, and we'll do the protocols, and it's all about safety.
Yeah.
They're above us.
Oh, no.
They're in control of that.
We take meticulous care of the dam.
Yeah.
But it was just the order of I guess I got confused with the order of progression. And so I'll call the engineer and have him write a letter to be put on the.
He needs to put an application into us for whatever your proposed mitigation is for that to meet dam safety requirements, whatever they're having you do. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, folks.
Okay. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Meeting minutes. Do we want to do a couple of those?
We have a couple. We have a Gilboa Street extension.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I skipped over number 10. I didn't see anybody here. A request for extension of order of conditions. And when was it expiring?
So I think sometime this fall.
Okay, and want to give them the 3-year?
I would.
Okay, they did ask, I would like to request a 3-year extension. So board, I'll entertain a motion for that extension.
So moved.
For Gilboa Court. for 3 years. Motion's made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. Roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Kirk Harris, aye.
Mark Mungum abstain.
And Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, we did do a couple of these meeting minutes. We already did 6:15, right?
Did you?
No,
No.
No?
no, we talked about it, but I think Katie Grace wanted to review something to make sure she was comfortable because of the 93 Davis Street situation.
It's in our approved minutes in our Google Drive.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me just see, let me look back on the,
I don't think we voted on it.
okay, let me just look back on the next one, the 6,
It's the one that was requested that something be changed, so it was supposed to be redone. There was
No.
something wrong with the minutes.
That was the one prior to that.
Oh, okay. Never
This
mind.
one, Katie Grace had some issues on the marijuana facility. Because,
okay, so, yeah, why don't we hold that one then? I'm seeing that it was deferred.
yeah,
So I put it in the approved minutes by accident.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
on the July 13th one, I had gone through that one and there was a question I had on wall design on page 3.
Which one did you say, July 13th?
July 13th, yes.
Wall design for the 6-foot wall
Yeah,
to be to the commission. Send the design for the 6-foot wall to the commission before its construction begins.
right. And I didn't know if that had ever happened or anything.
Steve, have they sent you the wall detail? It's going to be a building permit, part of the building permit package. That wall requires a building permit.
This was under the 349 Southwest Main Street, by the way, for everybody.
No, they haven't even permitted that yet.
So there's no permit that's been submitted yet. All right. Just keep a tag on that when you go to sign off on their building permit. If the commission can get a copy of that wall detail.
I gotta check with Maria, see if that was even, the order is done on those. We approved those in August.
Oh.
It's one of those
Well,
things
it's 1 month ago.
We might be falling behind on some of this stuff.
Was that your only comment about that one?
That was the only thing I had on that one, yeah. I don't know about
Okay.
anybody else.
Mike, did you read these?
I have no comment on that one either.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion
To do what?
and to accept the meeting minutes as written for July 13th.
So what do we want to do about the wall thing?
Well, it's part of the, we don't even have the order of conditions drafted yet, so it'll be part of the order and Steve will make sure that the commission gets a copy. It'll be submitted, the detail will be submitted in order to get a building permit for that wall.
Well, that might have been drafted. I have to take a look. That might have been one of the ones I had everyone sign. I'll have to
Okay.
look.
So as far as the minutes and being accurate, that's accurate. Right? That's what we
Yes,
said.
yes. The minutes themselves are accurate. It's whether or not the applicant complied with what they said they were going to do.
Right.
So that's the only reason I flagged July 13th. That's all.
Okay. So
Sure.
Steve, could you follow up with that for us,
I will.
please? Okay.
Okay, other than that, the minutes look accurate as drafted. So,
Make a motion, we approve the meeting minutes for 7:13.
All right, motion's been made,
Second,
seconded, roll call vote.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay, July 20th.
I reviewed that one. It looked good to me.
Okay, Mike,
I'm okay with it.
Mark.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Eric, I'm sure you're okay too.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I move we accept the July 20th meeting minutes as submitted.
Okay, motion been made,
Second,
seconded by Mark. Roll call vote.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Okay. August 10th.
I reviewed this one as well, and looks like Mary did a good job here.
Finishing strong.
Yeah, I was impressed with the last couple. They were all submitted to us at the same time, but maybe the audio is better now. But
Yeah.
but I didn't have any issues with 810 as well.
Okay. Mike,
No issues.
Mark,
No issues.
Mark.
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move we accept the August 10th meeting minutes as submitted.
Okay, motion been made.
Second,
Seconded. Roll call vote.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. And then the only other one was 824, and that is our agenda. That's not meeting minutes.
Yeah, I didn't get
I
that.
don't really know what happened with that, Steve.
Maybe they're not out yet.
It's a placeholder.
I don't
It's in
know.
the
I cut and paste.
file.
I was seeing if you guys even look at the stuff. That was a test.
Oh, it's a test.
I don't have anything for 824.
Okay.
Oh, it's a
So I
test.
moved-
Fine.
So I actually moved those other ones into the approved folder
I
right now.
saw. I know, it worked.
Are you looking
It
at it?
worked.
Okay.
Yep.
Live. We're getting good. No,
I
so
know.
my memory is lapsed. So those two orders with the walls were signed off by the commission. I was thinking about the U Street ones that we did last meeting need to be approved.
Okay. So let's just make sure that we get the wall, and then you'll have to rename those draft documents as approved
Right.
in your approved minutes, just to let you know.
Okay.
So we're going to keep the June 15th one open until Katie Grace is present to tell us what she thinks.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And 12 Cummings Court, is that on here for some reason?
So that's
The tree fell down.
It fell down. I think we're all set for now.
Okay. And what are we going to do with the signing of the orders, board? What do you want to do?
You could sign on our behalf, I think.
You want a formal motion on that, Steve?
Well, don't we have it already?
Yeah, we do. I guess maybe
We
if
need
that's
to
the
read.
consensus of the board.
If you want to
Okay.
do it again. If you
Yeah, I
want to,
think we're supposed to renew it each time.
I don't think so. I think it was vouchers though. Was it vouchers?
We
well,
said something.
if you want to go ahead and do it, to protect, just the extra precautionary measures.
Sure. Board? Is that
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we give the chairperson the right to sign on the board's behalf for the various documents that we have that are ready to go. However you want to word that, but
Okay. Motion's been made.
Second.
Second, all those in favor, roll call.
Aye. Oh, Mike Greco, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anything else, Steve?
Oh,
Hey, question,
Yes?
what did we ultimately say about August 10th and August 24th minutes?
We don't have August 24th and we voted to approve August 10th.
August 10th is approved, okay.
Yeah, we don't have the 24th yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, board, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
wow.
Motion's been made.
Good job.
Look at that. If it
Second.
Second by Mark, roll call vote.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay, Tracy